here we go again. We're back at the Wolfstack docks in London. I think we have pretty much everything we wanted to gather to set out again. We've got 10 fuel, 5 supplies. Hopefully that'll last us a little while. And I think what I'd like to try to do today is I'd like to head south. Because, well, that didn't open anything. Because we haven't explored a lot, honestly. This isn't very much, all told. But our gall-eyed engineer, who creeps me the hell out, wants to go to King Eater's Castle, and King Eater's Castle requires us to go all the way over here. This is where that is. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one quick pass up to here to see if we can get to Guider's Morn, because we've been trying to get there for a while. And we'll see what awaits us. It's been a little while since I've played, so I don't entirely remember what was going on. I skimmed my own video. I know that we went and poked around Pigmoat Isle for a while, and didn't really succeed at helping out the rats all that much after we helped them triumph over the guinea pigs. But, man, for previous playthroughs I keep thinking that I can submerge and go to Low Barnet, but I can't yet. Not an option. Totally not a thing. What I can do is stop at Hunter's Keep on my way through to the northeast, and if I slow down just a little bit, then I should get the something awaits me in port icon. I just kind of wiggle. There we go. So I want to wait for that because I want to have something interesting happen at Hunter's Keep. Obviously, I can reconnoiter the island and get another port report. The sea's silence. Ships rarely come here. Nothing changes, even the weather. The house is the heart of the isle, the house, and the sisters. But the Admiralty may be happy to know that nothing's changed, at least. And I forget who we've had lunch with before. But let's go with luncheon with Lucy, the middle sister. Sunny, restless, and prone to giggles. She tells a daft tale. She leans over and whispers to you confidentially. A complex story about a butler, a pig, and an inheritance. You don't follow all the details of the plot, but somehow the pig ends up in an attic and the butler in a vicar's bed. Candles flicker, dishes enter and leave, and the wind butts gently at the window panes. By the time the plum pudding arrives, you're as cheerful as you've been in months. So we spent our event, we spent our little lamp icon here. We lost all the terror we had. We're back down to 0. We are acquainted with the sisters, but something has changed. We gained 1 supplies, nice, because we didn't have a lot. We lost all of our hunger, and we now have the gods of the Z, Stone's attention. Stone is one of the gods of the Z, and we don't really want its attention. But that's okay. It's probably fine. Anyway, let's see if we can find the Corsair's Forest and Guider's Morn. We're probably not going to make it south in this go-around, but, you know, oh, there's bats. Oh, there's bats. There's bats up here. I don't want to fight them. And I don't really want to go to the tomb colonies. We're going to the northeast. We're not going to Venderbite. I could turn off the light to save fuel, but I really don't want to. Oh, we're close to the Salt Lions. I know about that place. I've been there before. Well, by the time we get there, we'll probably have the event again. Oh, that tells me how many fragments I need to get another secret. That's nice. Anyway, the Salt Lions. They're 2 enormous lions made of salt. I think they're made of salt. At any rate, we're here. Discovered them. And something awaits us in port, which is good. Zeal Port. That's where we're headed. Now let's see here. I think it lied about Guider's Morn being close by. We're still supposed to go there, but I don't really think we're gonna find it up here. Anyway, Zeal Port. Let's slow down and dock. There is a vast sorrow in their empty eyes. Two basalt beasts, cathedral-sized. They frown eternally at each other across the black waves. The north one carries an encampment. Creeping human figures eat away at its features like rot, picking. There's a supply dock below. So, first things first, we're going to compile a port report. Time, basalt, dissolution. Notes for the Admiralty. Record the activities of the Unmakers, such as they are. Rite of stone and silence. And that's our port report. And we could carry Sphinx stone to London. The Unmakers are the folks here to reduce the Salt Lions to rubble one block at a time. As you can see up here, they're hard at work. But in order to carry it back to London, I would need 20 units of cargo space and a deposit of 200 echoes. I don't have that. I've only got 90, so this is locked. But let's visit the Unmakers. Muscular pick-wielders rest on camp stools, watching you approach, passing hip flasks around. An unctuous overseer beckons you to sit. Fungal tisane and tea cakes. We get funding from the bazaar, it's true, but Station 4? I wouldn't call it Station 4. It's a little grandiose. The stones are stuffed with secrets, but most of them are used as garden statuary or occult ballast. Most of them. Some go down to the places under the bazaar. More tea cakes? I didn't do much. I lost 2 terror, I barely had any, and I gained 1 fragment. I need 112 more. Cool. And there's no shops here either. So, let's set out into this fog bank over here. Because we do want to generally wind our way south. We're probably going to end up swinging by Demuth Island again. Because I don't know what else is over here, and we don't exactly have a ton of survivability. We've only got 8 fuel, we've only got 6 supplies, and while we're not exactly consuming them very quickly due to being slow and not having many crew, we can't really bank on a particularly long journey. I'm going to send the Z-Bat out again, and see if I can spot anything. Oh, there's stuff over here. Something underwater to the southwest. No thank you. Can't go underwater anyway. What's over here? What are these islands? The world is webbed with invisible lines. You've crossed one. Tighten them and it would split like a fruit. I'm gonna not go over here because that sounds ominous. Maybe south of here there'll be something good. There's still areas that I don't know what to expect from, and this is one of them over here. There's some that I think are just basically blank spots on the map that don't have like features or ports or anything major. Ooh, what's this? Patrick's Lot is what we... Oh, it's a lighthouse. Cool. Oh, okay. Pirate steamship. Okay. From Corsair's Forest. Oh, hey! Hey, we need to go here. That's great. How's it going, friend? Now, once again, we're in combat. So I want to explain this again. I've paused it. This is our one gun, the deck weapon. It's got a timer, it's got a cooldown, and as this fills up around it, we can eventually shoot. Once it turns, once it isn't grayed out anymore, we can shoot. But we won't have 100% accuracy until it fills all the way up. This set of 3 red exclamation marks means that they're about to shoot us. But that's only if they can stay somewhere where they can actually shoot us. If we kind of tail them like this, then they can't get a shot, because unless they have a gun on their aft, which would be inconvenient for us. Okay, they're kind of bouncing off that buoy. Yeah, we got them. They're gonna have a bad day. Yay! The ship is ours. What can we do with her? Loot and scuttle her. Yep. Lean pickings. Okay. But we got a box. We got a cache of curiosities. A bolt of fabric. We found some parabola linen. Parabola is the servant placed behind mirrors, or someone made that up. But in that case, where do they weave the sleek and ambery glimmering cloth? Alright, well that was good. We successfully defeated some pirates, and we did not take any damage. Let's send out the bat. See what we got. Guider's Morn. Yes. We want that. Oh, that's right here. Okay. This is the port that we were supposed to go to the Admiralty, or go to for the Admiralty to retrieve some strategic information. So let's see how that goes for us. We'll slow down gracefully and enter port. Step carefully. As you can see, it's just built up onto a giant stalagmite. The Morn is a stalagmite vast as a crag, and its foot has no safe harbors. The Corsair's citadel nests halfway up. An intricate system of winches takes the strain, and your ship rises slowly from the sea. Her hull creaks in protest. Grizzled sailors groan and cling to stanchions. Higher, higher. Now the Unterzee shimmers like glass below. Children clambering in crevices cheer and wave alarmingly. The winch motor slows, and you hang in a cradle next to a red-bowed pirate cutter. So, we could spend an evening at the Errant Limpet, which is a drinking den. It's not terribly respectable. We could explore the Morn. There's a lot of landscape up here, but it's all pretty much vertical. Let's see, we could pay the loitering docker for his strategic information. Admiralty sent you, price has gone up, it's not safe here. You'll pay the difference, won't you? It's only 5. It's only 5 echoes. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Let's do it. A grin. You're a generous soul. You'll have your reward the other side of the river one day. And here's a little reward for now. Good sailing to ye. The report is barely legible. Perhaps that's part of the code. The Admiralty will know. But we got our strategic information, which is good. We will need to return to the Admiralty with that. Let's see. We have not been sending stolen ships to Corsair's Forest. I don't even know what that is. Over here, rumors of a pirate poet. Well, let's do that. Landlubbers fear pirates. Pirates fear the poet. Lies, nonsense, glimmers. Some say she's a clay man who freed herself with the power of verse. Possible. Others insist that she's the personal muse of the king with the 100 hearts. Unlikely. One claims she sails on a living ship made of the still screaming skulls of her victims. More sober voices mutter that no, it's just an Alcaeus-class vessel. Whatever the truths, few have fought her and survived to tell the tale. Only the bravest of captains risk the lonely parts of the sea where her flag is said to fly. Neat. Well, we could try to gather intelligence, but it's a tough challenge on our veils. Our veils aren't great. We could learn a lot here, but we'll need to go carefully. Because Guider's Morn swarms with pirates, smugglers, and captains of uncertain allegiance. Let's do it. In caution. A steaming bathhouse on a spur of rock. Water slops over the edge of tubs, out over the edge to join the sea far below. Scarred captains boast drunkenly of the prizes they've taken and the victims they have marked out. You listen from the shadows. We succeeded in a Veils challenge. Excellent. So we won that like 37% chance. And now we have a port report. Excellent. We don't need to reduce our terror, so there's not much point in going to the bar. Let's try to explore the Morn. We can traverse it as we would a rocky moor with an additional throatful of lurching terror. A patriotic dispute. You come across a crew of Kellanate hunters exchanging heated insults with a Canate privateer. It looks likely to end in blood. We could leave. We could raise our own flag and fight them both. Let's not. We could also side with the Kaganians. They may be foreign, but at least they're halfway sophisticated. Or we could side with the Colonians. They may be uncouth, but at least they're brave. Let's see. The high-risk challenge of fighting them both is 23%. 58% if we side with the Kaganians. And 77% if we side with the Colonians. We're going to do that. Victory! With battle screams and razor-tipped harpoons, and your help, the Colonians rout the Canate privateers. The swaggering huntress who leads them claps you on the back. Well fought, for a Londoner! Come to the Carrion Sea sometime. We'll roast a sea serpent for you. She drops a saw-edged bone token into your hand and blows you a kiss. So we succeeded. That's all for now, and we now have A whalebone token. Cool. We need to actually go cash that in, and that'll be difficult. So now, you'll note that this has changed. Now it's not an evening at the Errant Limpet, it's another afternoon at the Errant Limpet. And there's not much to do there now. No one on Guider's Morn drinks and does anything important in the afternoon. Now there is a shop here, but this is all incredibly expensive, so we won't be resupplying here. The friendly face. Oh, if we had some human souls to sell, then that would work. That would be great. But we're not gonna do that. In fact, I think we're pretty good right now. So the Kellinate is somewhere on the far edge of the map. Somewhere in the middle. But we do want to get here at some point to get to King Eater's castle for the sake of our engineer. But probably not yet. At any rate, we're going to head south and see what we can find. Maybe discover some more landmarks along the way. And slowly we're going to fill in the map. Very slowly. And turn off the light to save some fuel. Because, I mean, we have 5 left. We could... there's a boat. It's a pirate frigate. Yeah, why not? Let's pick a fight. If we get behind them, we'll be fine. We have not gotten behind them. This is not working. We're behind them now. Okay, that's better. This is more where we want to be. We want to be in their blind spot, like we're being really aggressive highway drivers. Oh, they're trying to back up and get out of it. So I'm basically just jamming forward and backward on the throttle, trying to get into a good position to just stay right up their butt. And I do want to keep the light on, even though it's going to burn more fuel, because it helps me target the gun faster. Boom! Alright, we've destroyed a pirate frigate. We're going to loot and scuttle her. Oh, 2 supplies and 1 fuel. Oh, that's good. And a box. We also get a box. A stout crate. The fundamental element of cargo. Ah, fuel. A crate of fuel. Coke, like coal, but more so, as the Department of Infernal Rarefactions would have it. So we got 2 more fuel. That was excellent, actually. That was incredibly productive for us. And now, I believe we're coming up on the Shepherd Isle. Yeah, or Shepherd's Wash. The Shepherd Isles? Yeah, here we go. Oh, there's a boat. That's not worth it, honestly, to go fight that. Yeah. The Shepherd Isles have a lot of weird, superstitious stories associated with them. Let's go learn some of them. Of course, the bearded watchman tells you, there are no actual shepherds on the Shepherd Isles. Sheep are mostly illegal here. No, indeed, it's just the name of the gentleman that found the islands. Greybeard sitting in the village square nods solemnly. No sheep, one says, but plenty of tales. Ask us anything. We could go to a picnic at the Standing Stones, because the bearded villagers will sell us mutton stew and kefir, and stone bottles of cold fresh spring water. We could also hear various tales from them. Tales of the Standing Stones, Tales of the Three Graves, or Tales of Thornwell Croft. We could also hear about the rest of the sea, but we can't because we'd need a bunch of mushroom wine, 7 supplies. No. But first we're going to compile a port report. Oh yes, my yes, there's been goings-on. In the bleak light of the false stars, surfers roiling like a porridge pot, up with the roar of steam and flash and fire, 3 widows swimming, tentacles, and then we saw His Highness. There is rather a lot of this material. Cool. That doesn't sound like a very useful port report, but whatever. Let's hear tales of the Standing Stones. The bearded villagers are happy to talk about the local sites. Well, site. True as I stand here, there were sisters from the sisterhood over on Abbey Rock. Came here hunting a renegade who served the god called Stone. Ran her to ground here, and she called on the god, and the god struck 'em all to pillars of rock. Stand close and quiet, and you'll hear him weepin'. So we just gained a terror from that, and we gained a tale of terror. So that's fun. Now there's nothing left for me to do here. Shops? Well, we don't need to buy anything right now, I suppose, since we took out that pirate ship and restocked our own supplies. Let's see, Wolf's Rift. If we had a submarine, we could dive there and do something cool, I think. Alright, so we're pretty much smack dab in the middle of the map right now is where we are. Send out the bat. What's over here? Station 3. The salt lines were talking about being Station 4. Oh, here's Station 3. Cool. Well, that's not foreboding at all. And Depot A. Huh. And we're in a fog bank, so I'm just going to turn off the light. So, this is an ominous island. I mean, it's probably fine. We may infer a Station 1 and a Station 2. We may conjecture a Station 4. Machinery hums behind steel walls. Up the hill there are visible outlines of warehouses and a building with a spire, but the lamps are low where they burn at all, and your ship the only one in harbor. We could train our telescope on the shore. Works. Church or something else? You stand on the high point of your ship and look to shore. There is a steepled building on the horizon, by far the largest thing in sight. No cross marks the top of it, nor any other symbol you recognize. Alright, we have a port report now. We could deliver a long box. We don't have one, though. Search for other signs of other visitors. Yeah, sure. Our mirror's quality gives us a 40% chance, which isn't great. An abandoned log. A few pages torn from a logbook begin with a passage of music. A sweet, low children's tune. After that come many verses that make no sense at all. They go on and on about purple fires and upside-down houses, a fistful of roses the color of brandy, and dolls with buttons for teeth. The soft, glossy pelt of an octopus and the sweet juice of a Brazil nut. By the end, you're humming along to yourself. It is terribly soothing, this song. Alright, we succeeded. And we gained some fragments, which puts us closer to a secret. Well, let's try the gate. The only way past the walls is an unimposing but sturdy-looking gate of triple-barred silvery metal. A sign beside it reads Deliveries. There's no way in. The metal is steel-hard and icy cold to the touch. Attempts with chisels and crowbars fail. Whoa, 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 whoa! We kind of jumped at that. Perhaps if you could bring the ship's guns to bear, but no. If we return with a certain delivery, the gate will be open. You'll know it if you find it. Probably one of these long boxes. Anyway, there's no shop here. So, let's head south. Let's see what awaits next. Because we do want to head south. Not only because that is the way we need to go to get a submarine, or rather to get our ship able to go underwater. We've entered the Promised Sea. All through this place, the song of the Drownies lies shivering sweet along the wind. Drownies they're sort of, very damp. Undead, oh no. That's an eel. I hate these. Note the 200 hit points. I'm gonna turn off the light and hide. Oh god, those things sneak up on you. And they're big. And they hurt. Oh yeah, I was supposed to rescue a tomb colonist from one of those. But we are nowhere near strong enough for that. Let's send out the bat. Oh, there's land. Such as it is. The Fathom King's Hold. So saith the bat. Well, let's go. What's the worst that could happen? Oh. Well, we'll just kill the lights. Save some fuel. Hey, a port. Nothing ominous here at all. Not even a little. Lorcan's Port. What happens at Lorcan's Port? Oh, okay. We're underwater. Lorcan's Port, named for that most enterprising of drownies. Phosphor cells burn green, somewhere below the king waits. Like an iceberg, like a bizarre master's scheme, like the Neath itself, most of the hold is invisible. You see only a tiny portion of sculpted coral. The rest waits below the surface. The Fathom King's bone rooms and aquaria, his pearl snares and his dining chambers. Well, that's terrifying. We don't want to do shore leave here. That sounds terrible. We could trade some Scintillac, which we have a little of. We have 2. For a white molly flower. Looks like a fish in water and a flower in air. The Drownies recommend owning one if you're going to their cousins at Dahut. That's somewhere underwater. We can't go there yet. We could trade Scintillac for drowning pearls, because the Drownies have a peculiar appetite for Scintillac, the silvery northern coral. But let's compile a port report. The porter watches you right. She says nothing. Others who come and go, those granted audience return dazed, awestruck. The king is not generous, but occasionally he is fair. Okay, well. The Fathom King is the lord of the Drownies, those dead who won't stop swimming. By some accounts, he's the lord of all who die at sea. Bring him a story to tickle his curiosity. Well, we have one Z story. Z story. Yeah, let's do it. Speaking to the porter, she has the skin of a shark. She has a drowned woman's eyes. It is not permitted to look at her hands. Yes, she rasps. That story is sufficient. She opens the valves of pearl and permits you to pass into the conduit. Oh boy. This is the salt-blown heart of the hold. The Fathom King floats in his throne, a gem-starred bowl of sea stone, the size of a banqueting table. He's wearing a dressing gown of purple brocade, soaked dark with salt water. He leans his chin calmly on his hand. Beneath the surface of the water in his throne, his hidden regions pulse, constantly, insistently. We could plead for a Zailor's life. This is a very expensive way to gain crew. We're not going to do that. We could listen to a Kaganian emissary, a visitor from the Timon clan in a grey robe patterned with leaping fish, describing events at the Khan's court, skirmishes with the Kellanate, Z-Beast attacks. We could also ask a boon of the king, because we brought him a story gift, so we may ask a gift in return. It's impossible to know what we'll receive. Let's listen to that emissary instead. Valuable information. At last the king nods and awards the emissary a pouch of drowning pearls. The hour of audience is past. Thorn-armored guards escort you back to the surface, but the emissary's words and the king's questions have taught you a great deal. We got another strategic information and some fragments, but the strategic information is awesome. That's very valuable stuff. And we actually have 2 of it. We could actually use it. Nope, never mind, we can't. We could put the pieces together into vital intelligence, which we could then trade to the Admiral and other people, but we would need a memory of distant shores, which we don't have. Oh, we don't have enough mirrors for that either. We could make sense of moves in the great game if we had one of those, but we don't. So never mind. Maybe we'll just go turn in the strategic information. At any rate, we're done with the Fathom King's hold. We can set sail again. Again, I'm going to turn off the light. Oh, okay, except to keep from crashing into stuff. Because I don't want to burn up all of our fuel. Let's send the bat. What's the bat got to say? Fathom King's hold. We were just there. Did it not? Maybe it didn't give us credit for discovering that. That's lame. Oh, a boat. Y'all saw that boat. That boat was totally there. I swear I'm not making up for that boat. Let's turn the light back on. I want to turn the light on. Oh, oh no. No, 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 no. Those are bad. The Crying Heights, where the Blue Prophets call the names of those about to die. We don't want to be here. This is a bad place. We want to be south. South is where we need to go to get the ability to travel underwater. But those things are the Blue Prophets, and they have 400 hit points, and they will shred us to pieces. So we're going to stay in the darkness, stay hidden from them, and continue on our merry way. Oh, dear God, get away from me. No. No. No, 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 no. You stay over there. Whew. Okay. I think we're safe. As we approach the Carnelian coast, far to the south, the Neath roof glimmers above the mountain of light. That sounds way more hospitable. Oh, good thing I turned on the light, because that is a maelstrom of doom. Velton's Vortex. I've never actually gone into one of those, but I don't think anything good happens. Oh, there's another vortex, actually. Let's avoid it. Instead, we want to come down here. To Port Carnelian. This is one of London's colonies. Pretty much their only remaining one, actually. Fallen London's sole imperial possession. Treasure it. London's first Unterzee colony sweats under a blanket of southern heat. To the right of the dock, the sapphire mines yawn. To the left, the governor's house stands, prim as an Elderwick mansion. Behind lies the fungal jungle, ghostly in white and violet. Let's see, we could visit Murgatroyd's Imperial Tea Shop. If we spend 20 echoes, then we could lower our terror, but we could call it Heart's Cross House, where the governor administers this distant fleck of Her Majesty's empire. We could talk to a tiger in the Blue Bazaar. The Carnelian Coast's padding natives are eloquent, placid, and acerbic most of the time. They're tiger people. Or we could call it a room above a bookshop. Meet with a former diplomat of the Khanate. They were all expelled from Port Carnelian following the Galatea incident. Don't know what that is. Only one remains behind, and not in any official capacity. We could also pan for sapphires in the jungle, with an iron check that we don't have a good chance at, 31%. We could insinuate an agent or influence affairs, but we would need to have a spy network, and we're nowhere near that right now. Let's call it the governor, or the governor's house. A port report. The governor is very, very busy. An attaché offers you a bowl of sugared puffballs and explains the work the governor does among the natives. Got to keep them happy, what? After all, they are tigers. Ugh. Yeah. Well, there's not much to do here. We could buy fuel, supplies, a little bit for the road. And the Sapphire Exchange, where we could buy a casket of sapphires if we had more money. Did we need coffee beans for someone? What do we... Objective. How do we want it all to end? Miscellaneous. Oh, yeah, 2 sacks of dark drop coffee. I just made it so I can't buy them. Oh, if I sell that wine, then I have just enough. And then I have 5 echoes. Not just sapphires, although there are quite a lot of sapphires. Oh, Submariner, the fierce philanthropist. Her house is built in the tall, porticoed London style. Red brick and white plaster. Decorative iron railings painted black. Its mistress is the subject of intense colonial gossip. Independently wealthy, an industrialist's daughter, a widow, unwelcome in London. What then does she want with you? An invitation arrived as soon as you docked. We want to accept her invitation, because this will begin the quest which will allow us to obtain a submarine. It wouldn't hurt to have the backing of a wealthy benefactor either. You expected a sizable gathering, but it's just you, her, and a decanter of admirable sherry. She is not a small woman, and comprehensively occupies her armchair. She wears sensible satins and sensible shoes. Her hair is impeccably curled. I've heard a number of shocking things about you. Captain's name, Jef. All of which I consider thoroughly promising. Her accent has a hint of Midland's melancholy to it. She must have spent much of her life on the surface. For a time, she asks questions about your travels and listens avidly to your answers. Then she gets down to business. A question, as she tops up her sherry. Some years ago, the nations of the Neath struck an agreement to abandon their research into submarine travel and leave the Z depths untouched. Ah yes, the agreement about nothing of consequence. Sailors mutter about it when listing the Admiralty's follies. You nod. She raises her glass. And what is your opinion of this agreement? I scoff at it. It's nonsense. Nowhere should be forbidden to the capable explorer. Her smile is conspiratorial. Then we can help each other. I'm prepared to finance, in a large part, improvements to your ship that will make it capable of submarine travel. The Admiralty and other powers disapprove of such innovation. Therefore, we will need to be discreet. I have procured experts, laborers, and a workshop. They are well paid and loyal. Here is the address. Meet us there and we can begin our work. Hell yeah. On the shore of a gloomy inlet stands a rickety factory. Once, and supposedly still, it was committed to the cutting and polishing of sapphires. Now it is the place where the fierce philanthropist houses her intrepid staff of engineers, the ingenious men and women who will convert your ship into a submarine. Okay, so I can provide things to help speed along the construction, like nautical know-how in the form of Z stories, additional funding in the form of echoes, a mysterious device, an outlandish artifact, Stygian ivory, which I don't have any of this, contribute an advanced theory if we had an extraordinary implication. Yeah, let's leave the workshop. Yeah, we close the door behind us and back to Port Carnelian. The hubbub, the pungent scent of the fungal jungle, the low rumble as tigers pad by on the street. Ah, screw it, let's pan for sapphires. A native ambush! Perhaps ambush is a strong word, but there's a tiger sitting on a broad mushroom cap asking unflattering questions about your nutritional value. You retreat. Okay, so we failed the challenge, but whatever. We gained a tale of terror, which is cool. We gained some terror, which is not cool. And that's all. Alright. Onward and elsewhere. Now, with our resources pretty thoroughly depleted and us almost out of echoes entirely, we should return to London. First, we're going to discover that vortex up there. And we can return to London by this route, by the far western edge of the map. Because there's one more port down here that we can go visit. Once more, I will turn off the light to conserve fuel, because we have very little fuel, almost no money. No, it's a behemoth stash. That would murder us very quickly. Oh no, go away. Go away. Oh, if it hits us, we're so dead. Please, please leave me alone. Okay. Oh, when it gets to the question mark, that means it's looking for you and it doesn't really know. Please go away. I don't want any. Oh, all clear. Oh, okay. We discovered some stuff. Zelo's town. And this place. The Grand Geode. Let's dock. A naval base with the Royal Navy's emblems, curiously amended. Efficient, bright-eyed women and men work briskly everywhere you look. They are singing hymns with unfamiliar words, hard-faced Royal Marines watching me carefully, barring entry to the geode's heart. A plaque by the docks has been defaced with orange paint, but you can still make out the original inscription, Station 5 adjunct. Oh. Let's compile a port report. Does the Admiralty know, or want to know? We'll take some discreet notes because the Marines are watching. Okay, I want to speak to someone in authority and figure out what's going on here. The Commodore may be able to give you a few minutes. The Commodore shakes your hand warmly. He's a handsome, open-faced fellow in an immaculate Navy uniform. His office is equally handsome. It overlooks the glittering interior crystal cliff. It must be as well lit as any study in the Neath. He deflects questions about the purpose of this installation, classified, you know, but smilingly offers you tea, biscuits, and mineralogical anecdotes. The biscuits are good, but the anecdotes rather blend one into the next. You find yourself nodding and then jerk suddenly awake. The Commodore is smiling. Your cup is empty. You feel well. Very well. A little euphoric, even. Come back soon, he says. So we actually lost some terror there. We now have one memory of distant shores. We also have one memoirs, a sunstroke. And the light. It's pretty. Oh, we could actually purchase an element of dawn, which sounds like a terrible idea. We could engage an officer. A dark spectacled woman, take me with you. I am no longer welcome here, and I will show you where we need to go. We already have a first officer, the sigil-ridden navigator. So we're good for net right now. And there's no shop here. Not like we have any money to spend. So this corner of the map is where a thing called the Dawn Machine lives. It makes a lot of light. I don't really know what to make of it. But it's way down in this corner. We don't really have the fuel to go explore that right now. But it's probably fine. Anyway, we need to focus on getting back to London without running out of fuel or food. We need to not die. Which means we need to go past the Iron Republic and the Cumaean Canal. But that should be fine. Right? Right? Oh, that's a ship of the Iron Republic. It's got 400 hit points, so we're not going to fight it. I just clicked it to see how much health it had, because I know they're kind of a big deal. Good, something awaits us in port, which is perfect, because we're headed to the Iron Republic, where terrible things will happen. We might run out of fuel. I really hope we don't. Alright, well, let's dock and make a port report about the scariest and least predictable place in the Z. Yeah, let's make a port report. The sensations of the Republic are overwhelming. This is a desire for years, that is a hatred for fountains, here is an emotion that can only be expressed mathematically. Now you are awash with nostalgia for the hatching of the egg. Write it down, write it all down, perhaps you'll be rid of it. Now we gained a tale of terror and a memory of distant shores, which is nice. Great. Alright, Market of Hungers. The Merc folds. We gained one terror. House of Pleasures. Okay, cool. The flies will caress you with their wings. Oh, I can sell a Scintillac and get enough fuel to get home. Good. None of the rest of this matters to me right now. Excellent. That was, well worth it. Now we should continue north. Because we need to get home. I feel like there should have been something over here. We could swing by Pigmoat Isle, but I don't want to because we're not really in a good way. We're not in a good position to help the rats right now. When I go over there to help them, I want to have more supplies and more fuel on hand in case they need either of those. Let's not get caught in the whirlpool. That would be bad. Burning blue, a hiss of horror from the lookout. The glim lamp at the front of the ship is sputtering and arcing, fizzing with blue light. Even as you watch, the blue fades, but it's not a good omen. We could spend them a story if we wanted to spend a Z story, but we don't have one. So let's attempt to calm them down, because there's a perfectly natural explanation. The darkness underneath is more than the absence of light, it's a physical presence which distorts the shape of the world. Your light melts the darkness, restores sanity to the world. You explain something of this to your sailors. It's not the first time they've heard it, but they seem slightly less nervous. Which is good. That means our terror didn't go up any more than it already had. And we gained one fragment. Whatever. We don't want this number to get too high. It's a 28 right now, which is reasonable. If it gets to, I think 50 is the first threshold where bad things start happening. We could end up with a recurring nightmare when we return to London. But we don't really... We're going to make it back before we get to the... Oh, it's a 30 now. Let's turn the light back on. Although it's going to help that we're in more familiar waters now. We're We're almost back, really. Let's dock at the command canal, gather a random crappy port report, and move on. This video is already pretty long. I want to get back to London. Go to the staging area. We'll listen for surface gossip again. Daylight. This would be a prime spot for a pub or a wine shop, but the interests of the Echo Bazaar and the laws of London prevent it. They don't like competition. Still, there are temporary half-legal hostelries and long-moored ships. Here you trade stories with sun-tanned surface sailors, stories of Paris and Batavia, the lost fires in the final isles. We got a vision of the surface. Great. Let's get a port report. Nothing interesting there. And let's sail as quickly as possible right on up to London. We could make a stop at Mutton Island, but I don't think that's going to do us a whole lot of good. Turn on the light. I don't want that terror creeping up. It's no good. It's 32. We got 2 fuel left. Yeah, let's just head back to London. I don't think anything in Mutton Isle is going to be worth it to us. The Admiralty doesn't even pay particularly well for port reports from there because it's, you know, it's right next door. Up the streets. Something awaits us. And we can kill the light now. Pretty close to home. There's a giant crab. We're not going to fight the giant crab, so we're just trying to make it home. Of course, if the giant crab tries to fight us, we will blast it out of the ocean. But really, all we want to do is get home. We are going to go check out this light ship, because I think we might be able to trade them for Aziz's story. We're down to our last thing of food, and we're about to be down to our last thing of fuel. But it's still worth it. We can speak to the crew and give them news of home to lose some terror and get Aziz's story. Excellent. In the bleaching glare of the lens, among the smells of oil and metal, you sip tea and chat. Aziz's terror recedes. Ah yes, over the abyss and back home. Turn off the light, we don't need to waste the fuel. And then we'll go turn in stuff at the Admiralty. That'll probably do it. Yeah, we did it. If we hadn't taken down that pirate frigate, we would not have made it back. Note that we are down to 1 fuel and 1 supplies. And if we had not taken out that pirate frigate, we would have been in the red. We would have not made it. And this would be our first dead captain. But we have returned to London, and the lights welcome us back. Let's collect messages from the harbour master. All the clatter and song of the dockside, it soothes the soul. Are there messages? No, there aren't really messages. Let's talk to the Admiral. First, we're going to pass on strategic information. He's hard to read with those glasses, but he reads the summary intently. Satisfactory. Eminently satisfactory, actually. Good work. Take this for your trouble. The clerk will see you paid. 150 echoes. Whoa, that's nice. You know, we're just going to pass on another one of those for more money, because we could use that. Let's get a new commission, because we completed our last one. We need to go to Mount Palmerston, somewhere northeast of London. Okay. That's fine. Port reports. Let's do it. Guiders Morin, you have something to tell us of the pirate fleets of the forest? Yep. Money! We got money! Hunter's Keep. Yep. That's... nothing has changed there. Shepherd Isles. We could submit as fact. All the weird ramblings we got, but let's just submit them as an unsubstantiated rumor. Yes, we do hear some unlikely tales of that place. I agree, it does seem implausible. So many of the stories from that place do. Still, there is a little gold of truth in the mud of rumor from time to time. Your payment. Station 3. Excuse me, just let me call a colleague in. This is my colleague, Mr. Villain, of the Ministry of Public Decency. Mr. Villain, this good captain's report is here. If you would care to... yes, the fire is already lit. Let us... there we go. Now only ashes remain, and it might have caused us such a lot of trouble. Thank you, Captain. We appreciate your discretion. Here is your payment. You need not trouble yourself further in this affair. Ooh. Okay, we got a lot of money for that. Command Canal. Nothing there. Iron Republic. Voomph. No, I didn't expect that to happen. Well, perhaps it's for the best. Oh, I burned his suit again. Dang it. Oh, come on. Back. I want more port reports. I have more Port Carnelian. You know, sometimes I wonder whether that place was a good idea. I didn't say that. Alright. The Fathom King's Hold. What's that old monster up to now? The Grand Geode. Yes, of course. We're generally quite well informed on that topic, but since you're here, perhaps you may as well let us know. The Admiralty official takes notes scrupulously, but with an expression of mild terror, like a novice vivisector wincing with a scalpel. The rest of the office studiously busy themselves with other tasks. And the Salt Lions, because the Bazaar always has an interest in that place. Okay, cool. That's gonna do it. We're good now. We've made it back. We got a pretty nice trip out and back. We've at least learned how to start on the way to getting a submarine. That'll probably be our next major goal. But that's going to do it for this. So until later with the continuing adventures of Captain Jef.